You will be surprised how easy it is to make truffles. In a small saucepan, we are going to heat up some cream. We're going to turn it to a very low heat, and we're going to heat 1/2 cup, 113 grams or 4 ounces of heavy cream. It may be called heavy whipping cream. You should be able to touch it and it won't burn you. You want to heat it to roughly 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 38 degrees Celsius. You can get it up to as far as 105 degrees or 41 degrees Celsius, but I don't recommend it getting any higher than that. Next, you want 1/2 cup of chopped chocolate, 60%, 113 grams or 4 ounces. If you're using anything less than 60%, say you're using milk chocolate or white chocolate, the ratio changes. Sometimes it has to be 2-to-1 chocolate to cream or 3-to-1 chocolate to cream. Typically for milk chocolate, you need twice the amount of chocolate to cream, and for white chocolate, you need 3 times. That's just a rough guideline, and you'll have to check for the particular chocolate you're using. But for traditional truffles, you use a darker chocolate and it's a 1-to-1 ratio. You want to turn off the heat, add the chocolate, let it sit several minutes until it starts to melt, and then stir it until it's glossy like this. Congratulations, you just made ganache. We are now going to pour this into a bowl, let it cool down slightly, cover it, and then let it sit in the fridge overnight or until the chocolate is firm. If you didn't use a high quality chocolate, it won't firm up entirely. You can fix this by reheating the mixture and adding more chocolate. If there are any air bubbles, go ahead and give them a tap and try to bring them to the surface. It's not necessary, it's just a cosmetic thing. The next day, it should be quite firm to the touch. It should give away and start melting as you touch it, so I recommend you use some spoons to scoop it out. You're going to need a pan to put them on, and I use wax paper so it doesn't stick to the pan and it's easier to clean up, but it's not necessary. I like to use 1 spoon and scoop out a small amount, about a teaspoon's worth, and then use the other spoon to get it off there and try to make a rough ball before I start rolling it with my hands. Now when you're doing this, make sure your hands are impeccably clean or even wear gloves. If you roll it with your fingertips, you won't heat up the chocolate as much as you do if you put it on the palm of your hands. But no matter how much you work with it, you are going to heat up this chocolate a little bit and your hands are going to get messy. Expect that. If it starts to heat up too much or your ganache starts to thaw out, you can just simply put it in the refrigerator for 20 to 30 minutes and then continue the process. You should get about 2 dozen truffles depending on how big you make these. Once you get them all rolled out, you want to put them back in the refrigerator and let them chill another 30 to 60 minutes until they firm up. By rolling them around, you've just heated up that chocolate, and you want to get it nice and firm before you finish the last step. If you start to get way too much chocolate on your hands or your hands are warming up too much, you can run them under cold water and clean them back off, and that will help you not melt the chocolate so much. Now traditionally, these are rolled around in cocoa powder, but we're going to use a few more things. We're going to use some cinnamon sugar, some toasted coconut, and some chopped up pretzels. You just roll them around and then you get a nice fine coating, tap them off, and then put them on your serving tray. You can also put the filling into a baggie and then just shake them so you don't touch the chocolate anymore. Again, make sure your hands are really nice and clean when you're doing this step, or wear food safe gloves. Gently roll it around and try not to handle it too much so you don't melt that chocolate. If you wanted to go fancy, you could make these with some compound chocolate or even some tempered chocolate. I will give you a link on how to temper your own chocolate, and I'm telling you, they are amazing. And you can also add flavoring to the chocolate before you chill it. Say if you like some rum, you could put some rum extract or even the real stuff and then stir it up and let it chill. These are really simple to make and they make absolutely fabulous gifts. Once you get them all rolled up, you need to put them in the refrigerator and they have to be stored chilled because they do have cream in them. You just bring them to room temperature 20 to 30 minutes before you enjoy them, or you can even eat them cold. These also freeze really well up to 3 months if you put them in an airtight container that is approved for your freezer. You just want to thaw them overnight in the fridge before you serve them. Now you're going to make a mess making these, but that's part of the process. Just enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Here are your ingredients if you want to follow along, as well as the conversion for the different types of chocolate. A general guideline, it might differ again for the type and quality of chocolate you're using, so you may have to adjust it. So you really need to keep that in mind. The 1-to-1 ratio is intended for really high quality chocolate. Thank you for visiting us at jacksonsjob.com, and as always, happy baking.